السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. كيف أمسيتم؟ أمسينا وأمسى الملك لله والحمد لله، لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. رب أسألك خير ما في هذه الليلة وخير ما بعدها. رب أعوذ بك من شر ما في هذه الليلة ومن شر ما بعدها. رب أعوذ بك من الكسل وسوء الكبر. رب أعوذ بك من عذاب في النار ومن عذاب في القبر. اللهم افتح مسامع قلوبنا لذكرك. Ya Allah, please open the hearing channels of our hearts to that which reminds us of you. Ameen. Last time, if you recall, we spoke of a topic that is surely related to an aspect of the spiritual dimensions of our deen pertaining to our hearts. And we mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam informed us of the different types of hearts. Al-Qulubu Arba'a, you recall that. Al-Qalbu Al-Ajrad, the liberated, free heart, which is the heart of the mu'min. Al-Qalbu Al-Aghlaf, the sealed heart, the heart of the kafir, of the disbeliever. The heart of the, and the other one, Al-Qalbu Al-Mamkus, the heart that is of the munafiq, wal-'iyadhu billah, الذي عرف ثم أنكر وأبصر ثم عمي. That is the heart of the munafiq. And then another heart, تمده مادتان، قلب تمده مادتان، مادة إيمان ومادة كفر أو نفاق، فهو لما غلب عليه منهما. And another kind of heart, which is the sick heart, القلب المريض. And that is, subhanallah, qalb, that is, he said, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, in the meaning of the text, that is the heart that is fed by two sources. A source of iman and a source of kufr or nifaq. And that heart and that person belongs, the nature of the identity of that person belongs to the source that happens to be stronger and overriding at the time. Sometimes that person is like a free mu'min, and sometimes that a person in heart is like a kafir. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. فَوَلِمَا غَلَبَ عَلَيْهِ مِنْهُمَا. And this is, as I said to you last time, may Allah help us all, what did the scholars rahimahumullah ta'ala say about this kind of heart? Yes, they said the majority of the hearts of Muslims, of ours, are in this category. عامة قلوب الناس من المسلمين من هذا النوع. يقولون قال أهل العلم. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. And then we said, of course, we would like to know what are the reasons that make the heart, first of all, sick before it becomes dead, before it becomes an aghlaf or a mankus, wal-'iyad billah. What makes the heart stained and change in that drastic, negative way? What makes the heart ill? We said two things: dhunub and ghafla. Dhunub and ghafla. Sins and the state of ghafla, which is what? The state of not being in dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إما أن يكون اللسان أو القلب أو كلاهما أن يكونا ذاكرين وإما أن يكونا what is the opposite? غافلين. And al-ghafla, not to be in a state of dhikr, of a form of dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, a form of awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we are like that, shaitan is more likely to attack our hearts and to affect us. And that's why the consequence of that is a diseased heart, because it is controlled by shaitan. And what did we mention about something from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam that informed us about that? What is the hadith we mentioned? الشيطان جاثم على قلب ابن آدم. الشيطان جاثم على قلب ابن آدم إذا غفل وسوس وإذا ذكر الله خنس. That's why he's called, shaitan is called الوسواس الخناس. He said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which means shaitan is ever watchful, ever on guard over the qalb, the heart of the child of Adam. When that person is in ghafla, lack of awareness of Allah Azza wa Jal, lack of focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, lack of dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, therefore, then shaitan yuwaswis, whispers, unleashes, in other words, his energy, his momentum, which we don't see, in ways to affect our hearts. When our hearts are not in a state of dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, of awareness of Allah Azza wa Jal. And he continues, فَإِذَا وَإِذَا ذَكَرَ اللَّهَ خَنَسْ. And if the person is in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, the heart also is in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, then shaitan escapes. Khanas disappears because of the effect of dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore the absence of dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, whatever we are, whatever our occupations are, my dear sisters and brothers, whatever we do, whether we are a repeat white-collar workers, and you know what that means, white-collar workers, right? You know what that means in the common parlance. You know, those who have special jobs, intellectual jobs. You know, CEOs, doctors, engineers, scientists, and things like that. You know, these are the white-collar workers. Or you are a blue-collar worker. Examples? Construction worker, etc. Blue-collar workers. It doesn't matter, man or woman. Alim or student of ilm, or less than that. Or less than that. It does not matter. If we are not in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, if we're not aware of Allah Azza wa Jal, we are in whatever we do subject to the onslaught of shaitan. And if we are subject to the onslaught of shaitan, then shaitan would control partly or completely our hearts, and that's a major reason for the hearts to be sick. And sick is not like a physical sickness. The spiritual sickness is when the heart develops emotions and feelings and drives that are improper. Delusion, arrogance, conceitedness, ostentation, greed, anger, etc. هذه الأمراض. Love to be the head, وهكذا. And that's worse than the physical illness of the heart. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. So that's why we develop hearts that are sick on account of ghafla. And therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as many of you know, my dear brothers and sisters, if you read the Quran consistently, and if you memorize the Quran, you would have come across ayat in the Quran that reminds us so often about the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that emphasizes the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal by associating next to it, by adding next to it a qualifier, an adjective sort of, or an adverb in this case. And what is it? كثيرا كثيرا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا الله كثيرا والذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات, etc. Allah Azza wa Jal, when He mentions to us the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, He mentions to it also generally the qualifier كثيرا, plentiful, very frequent, a lot. Not just dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, dhikran kathira. Not only udhkurullaha kathira, some of you who know the Arabic language and some of the intricacies of the Arabic language, he didn't say udhkurullaha kathira only, but udhkurullaha dhikran kathira. Adding the masdar and then adding kathira is a triple emphasis. Udhkurullaha dhikran kathira. It's a triple emphasis about the fact that dhikr must be done very frequently. Not only, my dear brothers and sisters, occasionally. Some of us are not even occasionally in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. Some people are not, don't even perform salah. The regular salawat, which is dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. And some of us, we come in dhikr of Allah to our salah, but we are not in dhikr. You see what I mean? Because dhikr is to be aware, to be mindful, not to forget. And some of us come in salah, but we are not in that, or at least we don't strive to be in that condition of dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of awareness, of consciousness, of presence. Amen. And when we are like that, we are subject to the heart falling sick and to committing even dhunub and more dhunub and other dhunub. And thus, what is the solution in this case? Very simple, of course. The solution theoretically is very simple, but it takes action on our part. What is the solution? To be very frequently in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. That's it. Whatever. Again, blue collar, white collar, man, woman, whatever. We should strive to make it a point, no matter what happens in my life, no matter what I do. I make a commitment. I pledge. I make a vow. Alas, my life has to be filled with dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. And forgive me to say, and I shouldn't care about what others do or think or don't do or say. I shouldn't care, not in an arrogant way, not in an injurious, hurtful way. No, I have to save myself. I have to save myself. Please, you don't want to do that, don't take me with you. Respect my need for that. I am weak. Maybe you're strong. I am weak. I need this. I need to make sure, by the grace of Allah Azza wa Jal and His help, to be used to dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. I want, when my time will come to leave this dunya, young or old, I would love that my heart and my tongue are in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, and that is in that state I leave this dunya, no matter where I am. Please don't distract me. I need it. especially in a world like this in which we live, where the world has become and is becoming more and more consumerist, materialistic, hedonistic. And people, we are learning to gradually and even almost normally give up our spiritual awareness of existence. And it's all about things to see and things that are rational, dryly rational, rational without supra-rational, that is without spiritual considerations. We need to be rational, but we need to be rational within supra-rational, as I would put it, within the spiritual dimension of the intellect, because that's why sometimes people would translate ar-rawhaniyat, they translate that as what? Spiritual intelligence versus rational intelligence. Yes, rationality is necessary, but with that humanity is duped and is trapped to become gradually spiritless, and even at one point to worship its own self and sees itself as the only reason for the existence of life itself. In other words, with time, people will end up forgetting and ignoring and denying a greater spiritual dimension that is behind the rational, smart way of human beings, if it is. Because sometimes when we become smart and we are so rational, we develop arrogance. And with that arrogance, we become so excessively rational that we deny even the supra-rational, not the irrational, the supra-rational, the spiritual. And that's a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for shirk. That's a recipe for kufr. Wal-'iyadhu billah. My dear brothers and sisters, it is not for no reason or a simple reason that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala emphasizes dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, and that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam emphasizes dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. And of course we can spend, as you know, may Allah bless you, hours upon hours mentioning the virtues of dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal from the Quran and from the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Perhaps, I hope it would suffice me and some of you at least, or all of you, inshallah ta'ala, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, with the busiest schedule that you can imagine any human being would have, at all levels of life. And yet, how was he always described by his companions, radiyallahu ta'ala anhum? كان صلى الله عليه وسلم دائم الذكر. The word دائم. كان صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم دائم الذكر. This is how he was described, that he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was always in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. To the extent, as some of you know or should know, he said, تنام عيناي ولا ينام قلبي. My eyes, even when I go to sleep, he said, my eyes go to sleep, but my heart does not. حديث صحيح. تنام عيناي ولا ينام قلبي. كان دائم الذكر صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم في جميع أحواله. In all the levels and the conditions and the manifestations of his life, whether he's judging or politicking, that is in the correct sense, or in salah, or at home, or in teaching, or walking, or sitting, or eating, or in the bathroom, he is always in the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. If he is like that, then how should I be? And that's to be in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal is necessary. It's not something superfluous or something that is an accessory, is a luxury. It is necessary for the heart to be in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. Otherwise, what happens? That's it. Shaitan will take over the heart. And if shaitan takes over the heart in subtle shaitanic ways, the person is lost and is unaware that he or she is lost. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. And there's a lot to be said about that. Now, one thing, because a few days ago, a beautiful brother said to me, I strive to be in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, but sometimes I don't have the focus. I lose that presence, that internal awareness. I feel dry, and this discourages me. SubhanAllah, may Allah bless him and bless all of you and all of us, inshallah ta'ala. That's a beautiful concern. It's a very important concern. And we should at least aspire to be in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal while our hearts are aware of Allah Azza wa Jal. While there is that soft moisture inside of us as we are in dhikr, that soft spiritual moisture, that الرطوبة الروحانية التي نستشعرها في قلوبنا عند ذكر الله. نعم، ينبغي أن نطلبها، أن نرومها، أن نبتغيها. Yes, we need that, because sometimes we are stripped from that halawa, sweetness of dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. We are stripped from it sometimes as a punishment from Allah Azza wa Jal. Sometimes, I say, sometimes. Imam Ibn al-Jawzi rahimahullah ta'ala relates in Sayd al-Khatir of a man who worshipped Allah Azza wa Jal in the early periods of the Bani Israel, of the Muslims of Bani Israel. كان تبتل إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى وكان يتعبد الله سبحانه وتعالى معتزلا عن الخلق. He kept away from all people in worship of Allah Azza wa Jal constantly. But at his level, one time in his munajah with Allah Azza wa Jal, in his moment of talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, in a solitary moment, he said, Ya Rabbi, kam a'sika wa la tu'adhibuni. Oh my Lord, how often and at his level, this is a abid of Allah Azza wa Jal, all dedicated his life to ibadah, but he is aware of some dhunub, that he is committing dhunub at his level. And he says, oh my Lord, in one of those moments, how often I disobey you, yet you do not punish me. Because he didn't see any observable external punishment that sometimes does happen. And then the text continues and says, then he was told. It was answered to him. How? Allah knows, either through inspiration in his heart, or through, maybe as some ulama would say, through the Nabi of the time of Bani Israel, or through the Prophet of the children of Israel of the time, to inform that abid with the answer. Allah knows, the text does not say specifically. So what is the answer to that person? Ya abdi, kam u'adhibuka wa la tadri. كيف؟ الله أليس قد حرمتك حلاوة مناجاتي. الله أكبر. The answer was, oh my servant, how often I do punish you, but you remain unaware. How, Ya Rabbi? Haven't I deprived you or stripped from you the sweetness of moments in dhikr alone with me? You didn't pay attention that you lost that sweetness that you used to have in your dua, in your dhikr, in your munajah with me alone at night or during the day. You didn't connect it. For some people, losing sweetness of dhikr, for some people like that could be a punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, depending on the kind of their dhunub, because they are, mashallah, over there. However, if we don't feel sweetness, we must never give up the dhikr of Allah. Why is that? First of all, sweetness is a fruit of dhikr that I desire to pick and taste. Correct? Correct? حلاوة الذكر هي ثمرة الذكر التي أرجو أن أقتطفها وأتذوقها. أذوق معنى الحضور ومعنى الشهود. أتذوق ذلك بلسان قلبي. That's what I desire. That's the fruit I desire. But what does Allah desire? Allah desires that I am in dhikr. And I desire from my dhikr the sweetness of dhikr. And what takes priority? What He desires from me or what I desire from Him? What He desires from me. What He desires from me is to be in dhikr. What I desire from Him is to taste the sweetness of dhikr. Ya Allah, please. But which one takes precedence? What He desires from شتان بابين بين ما يريده منك وبين ما تريده منه. Oh, what a difference there is. And as a abd of Allah Azza wa Jal, I should mind obeying and serving my Master, Allah Azza wa Jal, regardless of sweetness or not, regardless of whether I'm going to pick up fruits to eat or not. That's for Jannah. And there are even some ibad of Allah Azza wa Jal that don't even think of Jannah. They obey Allah because Allah loves to be obeyed. And they do that for that. Allahumma ja'alna minhum. And so don't give up the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, because that's what He wants from you. That's why one of the Salihun, Sayyidi ibn Ata'illah, rahimahullah ta'ala, said in this, لا تترك الذكر لعدم حضورك مع الله فيه. أولا لا تترك الذكر لعدم حضورك مع الله فيه، لأن غفلتك عن وجود ذكره أشد من غفلتك في وجود ذكره. First of all, subhanallah, he says, do not cease to be in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal because your heart did not achieve or was not or could not be with Allah in that dhikr. He says, if it is not still, do not give up dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. Why? لأن غفلتك عن وجود ذكره أشد من غفلتك في وجود ذكره. Because your ghafla, your state of ghafla because your state of ghafla against being in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal is worse, much more serious than your ghafla while in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. Of course. And then the hope, the note of hope, فَعَسَى أن يرفعك من ذكر مع وجود غفلة إلى ذكر مع وجود يقظة. ومن ذكر مع وجود يقظة إلى ذكر مع وجود حضور. ومن ذكر مع وجود حضور إلى ذكر مع وجود غيبة عما سوى المذكور. الله أكبر. Finally, he says, فَعَسَى, keep doing that. Don't give up hope. Alhamdulillah, keep striving. Keep striving. Keep imploring Allah Azza wa Jal. Keep doing that. And Allah knows who are sincere and who make extra efforts and sincere efforts. And with that, فَعَسَى أَن يَرْفَعَكَ مِنْ ذكر مع وجود غفلة إلى ذكر مع وجود يقظة. Perchance then, eventually, He subhanahu wa ta'ala would raise you. Just be patient. Keep doing that. And inshallah, He would raise you from dhikr with ghafla to dhikr with yaqظة, with awareness. From dhikr with heedlessness to dhikr with awareness. Keep doing that. And He will continue. And He would subhanahu wa ta'ala then raise you from dhikr with yaqظة, with awareness, to dhikr with hudur. To a state of dhikr with Allah Azza wa Jal where your heart is like sitting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, aware of His attributes. Hudur. You are in dhikr as though you are with Allah Azza wa Jal. Your heart is always aware that He subhanahu wa ta'ala is and watches over you constantly. That's hudur. Not only yaqظة, I'm conscious, I'm aware, but with a spiritual, now with a spiritual taste of the fact that Allah is watching me. Constantly, I'm aware of that. That's called hudur. And there is something else. And then He will raise you to that level. And then He would do something else. Then, وَمِن ذكر مع وجود حضور إلى ذكر مع وجود غيبة عما أو إلى ذكر بغيبة عما سوى المذكور. And then He would subhanahu wa ta'ala raise you even to a highest level of being in dhikr. Not only with hudur, what is beyond that? Ghaibah. Total unawareness. Total unawareness spiritually inside of other than Allah Azza wa Jal. Of other than the one whom you are in dhikr of subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are the levels and the grades of the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that's the sort of the expression of أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه. And therefore, not only in dhikr, but some ibad of Allah Azza wa Jal, by the grace of Allah, through their efforts and the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, would end up their lives. They live their lives as though they see Allah Azza wa Jal with their qulub. Don't give up dhikr because one is not at that level. No. First of all, be in dhikr because He loves you to be in dhikr. As long as we are sincere in that dhikr. And if we don't even taste the special sweetness and fruits of dhikr, it's okay. As long as I have the tawfiq to be consistent in my dhikr, that's a very good sign. As long as I'm consistent in my dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, that's a very good sign. لذلك قالوا ماذا قالوا about ذكر of Allah Azza wa Jal, that ذكر الله منشور الولاية. ذكر الله منشور الولاية. دوام ذكر الله منشور الولاية. Meaning that if a Muslim, if a mu'min is consistent in her or his life in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, they say consistent years and years and they die that way. That's a sign that Allah Azza wa Jal has elected that person or will elect that person as his wali, a special wali. Manshur al-wilaya. You know what the manshur of a king? منشور الملك ومنشور السلطان. إذا كتب الملك أو السلطان منشورا. If a king writes a manshur, that's, what is it? A royal decree. You know, تعالى الله عن الأمثال والأشباه. When a king wants to appoint a person as a special, wali, a governor of a province, he writes a manshur. And he says, take this manshur to that province, and when they see it in my seal, they're going to recognize you as my wali, my governor. And they have to submit to you. So, دوام ذكر الله, consistency in dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal by a mu'min, insha'Allah ta'ala, is like a sign that that person is going to be given or has been given a manshur from Allah Azza wa Jal that he is his wali. ولا يزال عبدي يتقرب إلي بالنوافل نوافل ذكر الله أيضا يتقرب إلي بالنوافل حتى أحبه. And that's الولاية. Until I have حب, love for him or her, and of course, and that's the wali of Allah Azza wa Jal. وهكذا ذكر الله عز وجل, my dear sisters and brothers. And we mentioned also of the reasons that stay in our hearts are dhunub. And dhunub keep us distant from Allah Azza wa Jal. The plural of dhanb, sin. Dhunub, sins. When we sin in any form of sin, the consequence of that, and there are so many consequences of dhunub, of the consequences of that, of the worst consequences of that, that we will be kept spiritually distant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. الذنوب من مرارة ثمراتها وحنظلها أننا والعياذ بالله نحجب عن الله سبحانه وتعالى، أننا نبعد عن حضرة الله سبحانه وتعالى، نبعد عن قرب الله سبحانه وتعالى، وبذلك عن جميل ستره وجزيل رحمته سبحانه وتعالى. Indeed, that's what dhunub will do to us. It will keep us distant from Allah Azza wa Jal. And that's the worst, and veiled from Allah Azza wa Jal spiritually. And that's of the worst of consequences of dhunub. When we use our eyes in the way we shouldn't. When we use our ears in the way we shouldn't. When we use our tongues in the way we shouldn't. When we use our hands and our touch in the ways we shouldn't. When we use our legs and feet in the ways we shouldn't. When we use our stomachs in the way we shouldn't. When we use our sexual drives in the way we shouldn't. وهكذا. In privacy or in public. Individually or collectively. Dhunub are also when we violate the rights of others in whichever way we violate the rights of others. الاعتداء على حقوق خلق الله ذنب عظيم. No matter what that kind of violation of the right of the creature of Allah Azza wa Jal, to the extent, of course, even if we violate the life or the right of a dog, and a khinzir, a dog, an ant, a cat, that's a dhanb. And yet some of us do those sorts of violations to human beings and to believing, faithful human beings, men and women. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. These are dhunub. And you know there are major dhunub and minor dhunub, and they all have consequences. They all have consequences in this dunya and in akhirah. And of their consequences, they veil us from Allah Azza wa Jal. They keep us distant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. كيف يشرق قلب وصور الأكوان منطبعة في مرآته. كيف يشرق قلب, as the beautiful saintly expert scholar said رحمه الله تعالى, كيف يشرق قلب وصور الأكوان منطبعة في مرآته. أم كيف يرحل إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى وهو مكبل بشهواته. أم كيف يرحل إلى الله تعالى، كيف يرحل إلى الله تعالى وهو مكبل بشهواته. كيف؟ هذه نتائج الذنوب. He said رحمه الله تعالى, كيف يشرق قلب. How could one expect his or her heart, or any heart, to be illuminated? That is, illuminated with the special gifts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How one would expect that when that heart is filled, the mir'ah, the mirror of that heart is filled with the images of the created realm. Meaning what? A heart that is the emotions of a person, the feelings of a person, the attachments of a person. That person's feelings and attachments are all about what? The created realm. He or she is all about that. Al-mukawwanat, suwar al-akwan. Human beings, jinns, whatever, wealth, power, persons. That's where the focus is. How would such a person expect a heart filled with that? وَمَا سِوَى اللَّهِ ظُلْمَةً, as it is said. وَمَا سِوَى اللَّهِ ظُلْمَةً. Other than Allah of the created realm, in the spiritual sense, it is darkness. Everything without Allah, were it not for Allah, the origin of everything is darkness. It is Allah Azza wa Jal, when in that thing, in the awareness of that thing, that it becomes illuminated. Everything other than Allah, without Allah, is darkness. And when we have all of those in our qulub, what will they do to our hearts? Our hearts are darkened. And if that is that black hole of darkness, how would we expect such a heart to be? Glowing and illuminated with anwar. And this is drawing our attention to the fact that we human beings and Muslims, the attachments we develop, the connections we develop, and the relations we develop with and for other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, independently from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and what He loves, those are all there and they saturate our hearts, and our hearts are sick. And when they are sick, we cannot receive the lights of the divine. أم كيف يرحل إلى الله تعالى وهو مكبل بشهواته. Second, he said, how could a person expect and a heart expect to begin the journey to Allah Azza wa Jal? The journey of the hearts to Allah, the nearness of the hearts to Allah, and to feel that nearness and to be aware of it. How could one even begin the rihla and yarhal, the journey to Allah? وَهُوَ مُكَبَّلٌ. To undertake a journey, you need to be able to do what? Physically, for example, to move, right? You have to be able to move. So he says, rahimahullah ta'ala, in this beautiful spiritual language, how could you move to Allah? How could your heart move to Allah when it is held back, chained by its own shahawat? By the base, passionate desires that we have inside of us. The shahwa that we have. The shahwa even for haram. The desire that we have to indulge in some haram or makruh, or even the excessive desire that we have for even lawful, passionate things. Even excessive indulgence. How could we do that? And they represent actually a chain. Because why do they represent a chain? A chain holds back. Because remember, if we have those drives, those passionate drives, when you have that, and remember some of your experiences, when you have that passionate desire inside that shahwa, what are you not able to do? What is right? That, let's say, passionate shahwa for something makruh or haram, and you feel incapacitated. You feel so overwhelmed. And that's why many people, they do the wrong things because they could not move away from that. Because of that strong attachments inside, that strong negative energy inside, for which there was no counter positive, greater energy to release you from that. The shahwa, الشهوة تكبل وتسجن وتعقل صاحبها. So when we have shahwat, we are held back. And the more we allow ourselves to indulge in illegitimate shahwat and legitimate shahwat excessively, the more we would be unable to move spiritually towards Allah Azza wa Jal. How could we indulge in pleasures, unlimited, uncontrolled even, or excessive, and then at the same time I expect, to be this person who is, mashallah, freely, spiritually flying towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I cannot do that. My shahwa will hold me back. Some of us, the shahwa of sleep even, the shahwa of sleep holds me back from waking up for Fajr Salah. Oh, what is sleep? Oh, and then the feeling of that sleep. That's a shahwa that holds back. Some of us are held back by food. Some of us cannot even control our eating habits. We cannot control our eating habits. And we indulge. And when we indulge, we don't care about what quality of salah we're going to be enjoying or not enjoying. Because, the shahwa of eating deprived me, held me back from releasing me to be in salah with hudur. Surely if I eat excessively, I will not be in hudur in salah. Surely if I speak excessively, I laugh excessively, I will not be in hudur, in dhikr, in salah. Even if it is originally legitimate, but excessively, it has repercussions. And especially if it is haram indulgence, it is even worse. Subhanallah. And he says, rahimahullah ta'ala, أم كيف يطمع أن يدخل حضرة الله سبحانه وتعالى وهو لم يتطهر من جنابة غفلاته. And we'll stop here إن شاء الله تعالى. And كيف يطمع أن يدخل حضرة الله عز وجل وهو لم يتطهر من جنابة غفلاته. Or how could a person so desire and so aspire to even enter into that presence in his heart of Allah Azza wa Jal? How could that person even aspire to that and expect that? While in other words, which he doesn't say literally, but it means the presence of Allah Azza wa Jal requires that we are in full tahara. Full tahara. You cannot enter the masjid if you are not in full tahara. If you are in janaba, right? You know all what janaba is. Major defilement. A major defilement. You cannot enter the masjid. And if you cannot enter the masjid, you're not going to be in that special space that will help you be with Allah Azza wa Jal. So he says, rahimahullah ta'ala, how could you expect to be in that presence of Allah Azza wa Jal, in that divine sanctuary in your heart, while you have not cleansed your heart from the janaba? He calls it janaba of what? Of ghafla. Now at some level, to be in the presence of Allah Azza wa Jal, there should be not ma'asi, not kada, but no ghafla even. How can I expect that when my qalb is in ghafla? And the ghafla for the people of Allah Azza wa Jal is like janaba, physically. Janaba does not permit me to enter the masjid. Janaba of my heart does not permit my heart to enter into the divine presence. And what is that janaba? Ghafla. Not to be mindful and aware and conscious and present and striving to be in hudur with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why, my dear brothers and sisters, I conclude, that's why as in these brief reminders, our qulub may be sick because we don't pay attention to the reasons of the sickness of our qulub, which are the two major reasons, namely sins and ghafla, and not being aware and conscious and in dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And thus I remind myself and you, number one, repent to Allah Azza wa Jal. Tubu ila Allah. Astaghfirullah. تضرعوا إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى. نتضرع إليه جميعنا. All of us should be sincerely striving to plead humbly for Allah to forgive us. Constantly, every day. Every day, returning to Allah Azza wa Jal. Morning and evening and in between. That's part of the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. Natubu ila Allah Azza wa Jal. And we ask Allah through dua to help us with that and to give us the strength and the energy internally to do that. Secondly, to strive to be constantly and as persistently as can be in dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For the absence of dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, again, is reason for shaitan to take over our hearts and therefore to be distant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. اللهم طهر قلوبنا مما سواك. اللهم اجمع قلوبنا عليك. اللهم اجعلنا نعبدك كأننا نراك. اللهم أكرمنا بتقواك ولا تشقنا ولا تذلنا بمعصيتك. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى. اللهم اجعلنا هادين مهديين غير ضالين ولا مضلين لا مبدلين ولا مغيرين يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله الطاهرين وأصحابه الميامين والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.